Hi, my name's Ben Foss, and today we're going to be talking about dyslexia and an individualized education plan, which is an IEP. This is the format that we use in public schools in order to establish special education. I'm joined today by Mayu, who has had an IEP and has been to IEP meetings before. And one of the things that I have found is that oftentimes students who are the subject of the IEP don't get really included in it. Tell me about the first time you went to one of your own IEPs. What was it like?
Well, it was in 6th grade, and it was kind of a very negative experience for me, I guess, because being a 6th grader, also, the teachers, everything, you're still kind of in that phase. You're like, oh, you're not really sure where you sit in the school, and having teachers' negativity all coming out at the same time in the same place isn't really great. It might have been a better experience if the teachers were more understanding, but what I had felt was very not good after leaving.
Not included.
Yeah, not included.
Okay.
Even though I was in the meeting.
Well, it turns out the IEP comes from a law. It's called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And in the law, they define who is part of an IEP team. And it turns out the kid involved is part of that team. They have an official role and they're allowed to speak at the meeting. So one of the things we've done on the Headstrong Nation website is we've put together a brief presentation that you can give at your own session. And I thought we'd go through a few bits of that today, and you could talk through how you might fill in that content and then present it at your meeting. So the way this is set up is that it's on the website, it's in the tools section. You can find this presentation to download, and you could go through it and fill it out. So why don't we start by helping you define for folks what your goals are. And in the PowerPoint presentation, we ask 3 questions that you might talk about, which is your favorite school activity, what you want to be when you grow up, and the things that you want to learn about in school this year. So let's apply that to this year. You're currently in 8th grade?
Yes.
Okay. So what is your favorite school activity?
My favorite school activity is probably history.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I like the constant, I guess, challenge, and also how it's already been set in stone, so it can't be changed by the teacher. so it's already happened. So
okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you think you want to do when you grow up?
I guess academic goals, maybe be a lawyer,
Uh-huh.
and then more athletic goals, maybe baseball player.
So you'll be a baseball player, lawyer.
Yeah.
I like it. Or football.
Yeah, or football.
Okay. So maybe sports law.
Yeah, sports law. There you
Okay.
go.
All right. And then specifically this year, what are the types of things you want to do this year? What are your goals this year that you want to achieve that a teacher might be able to help you with?
I guess since I've kind of overcome my math issues, I guess maybe becoming a good speller.
Uh-huh. So focusing on spelling.
Yeah.
Okay, is the thing that you want to improve. All right. And then when you talk about your own profile and you describe your profile to someone, what are the key things that an IEP team would be interested in knowing about you?
That I'm not the stereotypical dyslexic.
Uh-huh.
I don't have troubles with reading,
Uh-huh.
and I don't. Yeah, so don't ask me if I can see your shirt backwards.
Right.
Yeah, and don't take me for granted. I
Okay.
guess, and so because I'm as normal as any other kid.
Okay.
And then that my struggles are math and spelling.
Okay.
So
Those 2 areas are really,
Yeah.
and if you can really get support there, you can be independent.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you an image that's in the PowerPoint presentation. So this is a human brain. On the left side is a person who is not dyslexic, and the right side is a person who is dyslexic. So on this side, you can see there's a region of the brain called the temporoparietal lobe, and over here, that region of the brain is not very active. And I always like to show this image in it. So if you were going to show an image like this to a teacher, what do you think you'd want them to take away from it, and what would you want them to understand about that image?
That even though this part of the brain has less activity, doesn't mean that we're not as smart as the other part of the brain that has the most activity, the non-dyslexic brain.
That makes perfect sense. And so then the final thing that we would focus on is what commitments you would be willing to make to the teacher this year. And in here we talk about a couple things that are just, to start with, to work hard, to ask for help when you need it, and to do your best to succeed as a student. What types of commitments would you make in your IEP so that you could be a partner in your education?
Well, for example, this year I've already made a commitment that on Wednesdays I come in the morning to meet with teachers to make sure that I have everything under control and know what's going on and just keep me updated. And if, say I wanted to get ahead on work, I could do that. So maybe I'd implement that in an IEP at a public school.
Okay.
For me to see teachers. Yeah.
Well, that makes really good sense. And I think if you could make those kind of commitments with this presentation in an IEP meeting, how do you think that meeting might go?
Depends who the teachers are. So.
Okay. Well, give me two scenarios.
Okay, if you had a positive teacher, then they would be like, that's great. Okay, we can work something out. But if you had a negative teacher who's given up on you after the first 2 weeks of school,
right.
then you're kind of I guess you're not gonna have a very good experience because they will say they will help you. Like you come in the mornings, but what happens is you come in the morning, they're not gonna do anything with you.
Okay.
You'll just be there.
Well, I think one of the most important things that I always think about is no one went into teaching because they didn't want to teach.
That's true.
And if you can tell them how to be supportive to you as a learner through this meeting, you can actually set the terms of engagement so you can have a more positive classroom experience. So do you think this is something you might want to try? Presenting at an IEP meeting?
If I had an IEP meeting?
Yeah, if you had one coming up?
Sure, that might work.
Okay.
It always depends on your relationship with the teacher and the teacher's relationship with you.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's a critical piece of it.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much, and we'll give this a go in your next IEP when they come up. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining.